I am successful. I look for and find opportunities where others see nothing. I am a lifetime learner. I am solution focused. I see only solutions. I am a solution. Welcome to the Be Transformed Tribe on Clubhouse. I'm the catalyst. My name is Lanre Lushola. And this is actually your practical space to address every issue you have in your life, especially on Wednesdays when we take on real life issues. And we look at it from a neuroscience, psychodynamic, psychology, sociological, and spiritual perspective. And tonight we're talking about how to build relationships that truly matter. So what is most important, pursuit, presence, or purpose in every relationship? Honestly, all three are important, whether it's the pursuit, whether it's your presence, whether it's the purpose. But I'll take the first one, the most critical one, which is purpose. Every relationship has a purpose, and for any relationship to work, you must be present. And for any relationship to be meaningful, you must pursue the purpose. Oh yes, and you must commit yourself to being present all the time. So there is no relationship that works without, intentionality. It's impossible for us to walk through life. So the purpose of relationship is support. Nobody can succeed on their own. Every breakthrough, every transformation has a fingerprint, and that fingerprint is the fingerprint of relationships. And relationships, are built, to become bridges between where we are and where we're destined to be. That's right. Relationships are the bridges that transition us from where we are to where we're designed to be. And it's very, very important for us to understand this, that, there is a purpose to every relationship, right? And every relationship needs your presence for it to work. And you must pursue the purpose for which that relationship was created. So in the purpose of relationships, you have to understand that there is no relationship that is equal. None. Yes. The truth is that people are like gates. People are like doors, and some open you up to purpose, others close you up from your destiny. And it is important for you to have the wisdom, oh yes, to know which is which. So, where one door opens is where another one closes. And you're going to need people to open certain doors for you, and you're going to need certain people to close certain doors for you. That's right. And when doors open, then purpose unfolds and begins. When doors open, then the purpose of the thing is over. That's right. And so wisdom is so key, because when you discover purpose is within a time frame. So it's not every relationship that can last or is designed to last forever. And so if you pursue a relationship forever, especially if that relationship is only for a time and a season, yes, you would be keeping the door that's supposed to be shut, you'll be keeping it open. Which means that you will be pursuing what you're not meant to be pursuing, because you'll be focusing on the wrong things at the right time. And so it is important for you to be wise. It is important for you to be emotionally intelligent. It's important for you to be knowledgeable. It's important for you to have insight about relationships. Now, as you understand the concept of purpose, as you understand the concept of pursuit, as you understand the concept of presence in every relationship, you have to be able to see that relationships are broken into, let me call it, 5 different categories. And you have to be discerning which category you are opening up and which category you are stepping into and which category you should shut down. So the first category that I want to talk about is the foundation, because, man, if you want to build anything, right, we're talking about building relationships. If you want to build a house, if you want to build a business, if you want to build anything afresh, You have to start from the foundation. So let me talk about foundational relationships. These are the people that God has used or God will continually use to shape you in your early life. So this one you don't choose, but these relationships are very, very key. Foundational relationships. That's your parents first, because both of them had to come together to create you or to birth you at God's appointed time. So whether they knew it or they didn't know it, whether they were clued in or they were not clued in, whether they did it consciously or unconsciously, they collaborated. They had a partnership, an unconscious partnership with the divine. And they had a partnership with themselves to birth you, your parents. That required a relationship. So for you and your purpose to be birthed at the appointed time that your purpose was birthed, right? They tapped into God's divine order and God's divine season to dispatch you. Relationship, foundational relationship, or whether we call them your guardians, your teachers, your siblings, your nannies, these people are your foundational relationships, right? And you must honor them. It is very, very important that you honor everyone that is a part of your foundational relationships. Things will go wrong in your life. Things may not go right in your life if you dishonor the people that sowed seeds into your life for you to become everything that you have become. So, identify everyone in your life that was foundational and find a way to consistently honor them, because without them, you would never have become. The second category of relationships is what I call the supportive relationships. Supportive relationships. And these are destiny helpers. They can be mentors, they can be coaches, they can be colleagues, they can be friends who stand by you and stand with you in times of pain, in times of trauma, in times of progress, and in times of failure, in times of success, and in your time of growth. These ones, you have to treasure them. The ones that stand with you, your destiny helpers, the ones that hold you accountable for you, right? To continue to build upon the foundations that the foundational relationships have laid. So you treasure this one. Remember that the first foundational ones, you honor them. Supportive relationships, you treasure them. Then there's a third category of relationships that I call strategic relationships. These ones are the ones that are sent to you to unlock your next level. Oh, yes, to challenge you for the next level, to push you to the next level. These ones don't let you stay in your comfort zone. So, oftentimes, many of us don't like these ones. Why? Because these ones, they no go agree for us. These ones will not agree for us to stay at the same level consistently. They're the ones that are always challenging you. They're the ones that are always checking in on you. They're the ones that are always pushing you. These ones are called divine connectors, destiny helpers. They are sent for specific checkpoints. They are sent for specific seasons in your life. These ones, you must be sensitive to see them so that you don't despise them, you don't fight with them. Yes, you must be sensitive to them. Why? Because these ones are your divine connectors. And then there's another category of people. The fourth category of people are the people that I call your seasonal relationships. Now, these ones are sent for a moment and not a lifetime. There's a season in your life that, you were in primary school, right? And you needed relationships. There are people that will come and go. There's seasons in your life when you're in secondary school, you needed certain people to play certain sports, swimming, football team, taekwondo team. They come, they go. Then you go to university. In America, in New York, they come, they go. Then you meet some when you get a job, right? In Goldman Sachs, you work there for 5 years, they come, they go. and they're also colleagues. Yeah, these ones show up at certain times in your life, and it's important for you to be able to release them when their season is over. Did you hear me? It's important for you not to cling to them. It's important for you to let them go and to release them. But most importantly, is you that you are releasing. You are releasing yourself to step into your next season. Final category is destiny relationships. Now, these ones are rare. These ones are priceless. These ones are life shifting. Oh, yes. And you must protect these relationships at all cost. Destiny relationships. Now, these are the people that when they show up in your life, your life takes on a new turn. You begin to think differently. You begin to see things differently. You begin to progress. You begin to grow. And it's not about money, it's about wholeness. It's about peace. It's about fulfillment. It's about satisfaction. You just feel at home with them. Destiny relationships, very rare, very priceless, very life transforming. But you've got to protect these ones at all costs. And you see, if you do not know the purpose of a thing, you would abuse it. And so, if you do not know why someone is in your life or which category they fall into, you will misuse them. You would abuse them. Oh, yes, that's right. So, purpose is key. The reason for the relationship is key because it will define how present or how absent, it will define your behavior and how you treat those relationships. And it is therefore very, very important that you know that meaningful relationships are not found, they are built. That's right. Meaningful relationships don't just show up in your life, right? It is what you intentionally do with the relationships in your life. Build them the way that you build anything that is of value with intention, with pursuit, with attention, with presence, with time. And you have to be very intentional about it. And you therefore ask yourself, why is this person in my life? What assignments do we have together? Secondly, you have to be authentic. You have to be real because real recognizes real. Fake recognizes fake. Drop the mask, especially with the fifth category, the destiny relationships. Show up as you, your authentic self, but make sure that you are fully present in every relationship that you find yourself in. Invest time. Love is spelled as Time. Make time for meaningful connections and then serve. You have a purpose in that relationship. The other parties have a purpose in that relationship. So all of you must add value. You must give, you must encourage, you must support each other, and you must be someone of value. You must be someone that is worth being around. You can't be a jerk and people will want to stay around you. You can't be a parasite and people will want to continue to stay around you. So, what value are you giving? You should not just be in a relationship to take. You also have a purpose and you have value that you should be adding in that relationship, and you must be present. And your presence is very, very powerful. Yes, it is very, very powerful. One is down, encourage them. You haven't heard from someone in a while, call them. You haven't visited in a while, visit them. A call, a word in due season, a visit can shift somebody's world. And relationships that matter, they require effort, not entitlement. There are too many people in this world that have an entitlement mentality. That is not how meaningful relationships are built. What is the difference between connections and relationships? Let me use your phone as an analogy, right? So we all have smartphones, and when we have data, our smartphones are connected to the internet, and we all have different apps. So you've got WhatsApp, you've got your Gmail, you've got your Yahoo Mail, if that's what you use. You've got Instagram, you've got TikTok. The fact that you have a connection on your phone does not mean that you can benefit from any of those apps. Your phone is just merely connected. Now, for you to benefit from Instagram, right? Let's say you set up your Instagram to daily reach your 1 million followers, and every time you reach them, you give them a word, you add value to them, and then you sell them a product. Your 1 million followers, they buy your product for $10 each. Each time you put that out, that's $10 million, right? The fact that you have a connection on your phone, right, does not mean that you have made, you have created value or you have utilized those apps for the purpose for which those apps were there and for the purpose for which you are on that app. So, just as connection on your phone is not the main domain, is the value you get from the connection on your phone. That's the key. Likewise, so when we look at the five different categories, we looked at seasonal relationships, right? We looked at destiny relationships. We looked at strategic relationships. We looked at supportive relationships. And then we looked at foundational relationships. You will realize that foundational relationships were relationships that were divine connections. Some of them were divine connections, like the family you are born into, right? You are born into those families, and so they have to accept you the way you are. But some even disown you after a while. Why do they disown you? It is because you have misbehaved. You have acted out of the values or the core values, the ideology of the family, so they disown you. So the fact that you were connected from birth does not mean that they stay connected to you. Now, if you are connected on the internet, right, and you switch off your phone, then even though that connection is still available, your phone is off. The connection can't be of any value to you. Some people terminate those connections. Now, you must go beyond just connecting. You must be intentional about relating. Relationship is about intentional relationship. Relate. People have to be able to relate with you. You have to be able to relate with people. So it's not everybody that connects with you. It's not everybody that you connect with that vibe with you, that your values are similar, that you think the same, that you're going in the same direction. So the fact that we connected today does not mean that, our purposes align, does not mean that I have to build a relationship with you. We connected. And it's not everyone that falls into those five categories that I've just described. There are just some people that you meet, and some people connect you to other people, and that's their job done. So I give you a classic scenario, right? John the Baptist, his purpose was just simply to introduce somebody to some people. And by the time he had finished making those connections, his purpose was done, right? For the small, short period that, he hadn't yet made that connection or that introduction, then there was a relationship between him and the person of Christ that he was supposed to introduce. But the moment he made that connection with the people he was supposed to make that connection with, what did they do to him? They beheaded him. So relationships require connection, but connections don't require relationships. And so it's impossible for you to have a relationship or to start a relationship, to build a relationship without the first point of connection. You must be able to meet each other. So connection is meeting each other. Connectivity, right, is that, we maintain that connection. And relationships is building upon that over time. And that is when purpose is involved. That is where presence is involved. That is when pursuit is involved. So relationship, right, requires purpose, it requires presence, time and investment, intentionality, right? And it requires pursuit. Connection doesn't. You can just go somewhere and you connect with someone. Solitude. What is the relevance of solitude in building relationships? I think the very first thing that you need to think about is really you, because a relationship can be two people. A relationship can be three people, a relationship can be four people or more. However, that relationship starts with you, the relationship you have with yourself. And the relationship you have with yourself will influence how you relate with other people. That is, will affect and influence and affect the relationships you have with other people. And the only way to build a relationship with yourself is in solitude. It's difficult for you to build a relationship with yourself when everybody else is around you. So you need to be able to take some time away, take some time out, right? And invest some time in me time. And in that me time, you know how you think, you know what your purpose is, you know what your vision in life is, you know where you're at, you know where you're going, you know what you need in life. And if you haven't figured it out, right? You're on the journey of trying to figure it out. And you need to be quiet, you need silence, you need solitude to be able to discover yourself. You know, they asked Socrates the three secrets of success, and Socrates says one, know thyself. Two, know thyself. Three, know thyself. And they asked Socrates, why the same answer three times? And he says, if you do not know yourself, you can never be yourself. And knowing yourself, right, it requires solitude. Being yourself requires coming in and out of solitude. So you now have to give, after you've come out of solitude, you give yourself the permission to explore life. And part of the exploration of life is to build meaningful relationships everywhere you go. Yeah. And so it is absolutely impossible, right, for you to get into any meaningful relationship without first building a meaningful relationship with yourself. What do you like? What don't you like? What are your core values? What is your ideology? What are your belief systems? What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? You find out those things in solitude, in meditation, in self-reflection, as you aspire to attain self-mastery. Now, there are times when also your personality also kicks in. There's certain people that will, are introverted, and certain people that are extroverted. The introverted ones, they gain their personal power from being alone by themselves. They dissipate energy and power when they're around too many people. Okay. And there's some people that, thrive around other people. They gain energy when they're around people, right? And they don't like to be alone, right? They don't like to think. They don't like to, focus on this getting too serious, man. I need to hang around with my friends and I need to go. Well, you have to recognize that in life, right? In building yourself, you need to come in and out of solitude. In building relationships with others, you need to come in and out of solitude. So there are times when you need to spend time with people. Those are times you come out of solitude, right? And then you vibe with people, you connect with people. Even when you are with people, there are times when you need to observe what is going on, the vibe, the energy. Who is who? What category you place them into? You need times of solitude to be able to reflect and people in boxes and put people into categories. And then when you are around them and you figure that out, then you need time of solitude to go and reflect that, wow, I met someone that fits into my destiny relationship category. Oh, yes, I met someone that, this one season is over. Because, man, if I keep keeping this person in my circle, right, they will keep sabotaging me. And it's happened once, twice, three times. It is in times of solitude that you reflect on that and you catch a glimpse of, this person, I need to let them go. And so in life generally, we need times of silence and quiet. For the Bible says, in quietness and in confidence lies my strength. Solitude. You need times to be alone by yourself. There's a time to, Ecclesiastic 3 says there's a time for everything under heaven. There's a time to be by yourself, and there's a time to be with people. And you have to recognize that. It is also important for you to recognize that, you don't attract what you want. You attract who you want, rather. Right? You attract who you are, sorry. You don't attract what you want, you attract who you are. And if you do not know who you are, right, you would not know what you're attracting and why you're attracting the kinds of people that you're attracting. Let me challenge you. Yeah, we all want meaningful relationships. We all want friends and mentors and coaches and allies. We want destiny helpers. We want partners that will elevate us and take us to the next level. Now, you have to, in times of solitude, step back and ask yourself, am I the kind of person that I'm trying to attract? Because you can never attract anything outside of who you are. And you ask yourself, what kinds of people am I attracting? And what does that say about the kind of person that I am? I know that it can be a harsh message to many people. If you are attracting the wrong people, you are the wrong person. And if you want to change the kinds of people you're attracting, then you have to change. So you must become the kind of people that you desire to relate with and to attract and to connect with. If you want loyalty, you must be loyal. If you want honesty, you must be honest. If you want someone to believe in you, you must start believing in other people. People are your mirror. And so it is in times of solitude that you are able to reflect and realize that, man, this guy right here that I'm always fighting with, this guy is a mirror reflection of me. What is he telling me about me? Yes. And once you get that feedback, you need to start to work on you. You need to become emotionally, socially intelligent. You need to grow in wisdom, in patience, in maturity. You need to deepen your spirit. You need to align with your purpose. You need to check which frequency you are operating from, which frequency you are tuned into. Oh, yes, you need to make the right connections. If you want to stop attracting drama, you have to stop being drama. Oh, yes. If you want to start attracting people that align to your destiny, you must align with your own destiny, honestly. If you attract the wrong people, there's something fundamentally wrong with you. Is it possible to have a relationship with someone without having a connection with someone? I think it is impossible for you to have relationships without connection. Just like it is impossible for you to get on your Instagram without data. It's not possible for you to send an email without data. It's not possible for you to do anything on your phone these days, get on WhatsApp and without data. It's not possible for us to be on Clubhouse today without data. And it's like it's not possible for you to build relationships without connections. It's just impossible. And that is part of the pursuit. That is part of the purpose. That is part of the things that you are going to have to make sure that you maintain. You have to, you have to, you have to prioritize communication and connection. You have to talk, you have to call, you have to check in, and don't let ego make you lose those divine connections. You have to handle offense with maturity. And that is symbolic of disconnecting connections, because there will always be offense. Offense always disconnects us, or we disconnect from people because of offense. Offense is inevitable, but growth happens when you address it, not avoid it. And so many people avoid offenses. Many people do not develop the maturity and emotional intelligence, to handle offenses. When you mature, when you are able to handle offenses right, then you keep those connections going. When there's no connection, right? Or, they say that signal is failing, right? Then you're not able to get through to anybody, right? You also to ensure that you maintain those connections with people, you have to set boundaries, and you have to respect the boundaries, your own boundaries that you set for yourself, and the boundaries that other people set for them, for you and your relationships, right? That helps you keep connection, right? It helps you maintain connection. Not everyone is your fixer. So you have to be able to set boundaries. Not everyone should be allowed to want to come and try and fix you. So also boundaries about when to speak and when to listen. There are times when that, man, you're not supposed to say anything to this person, and people are not supposed to speak to you concerning every matter, and you listen to them concerning every matter. So there's a time to speak and a time to be silent. You must be able to set those boundaries and respect those boundaries. Also, right, connections is also about maintaining support for each other, right, and celebrating the support and the value that you add to each other, which means that you must be celebrating people's wins. That's part of the value you add in relationships. There are too many people that are too jealous about other people. When you become jealous about people that you have relationships with, it's an indication that you're in the wrong relationships, because you're unable to celebrate their wins. You're unable to support them to succeed and to grow and to progress. When you're in those kind of relationships, it's time for you to get out. And it's in times of solitude that you reflect and realize that this relationship is toxic. And toxicity may come when it's time for you to terminate certain relationships. So support for win-win is very, very important. Support keeps connection going. And support, right, and celebrating and adding value to people, is very, very key. And constantly evaluating your connection is also very, very important. If you have a relationship with three people, are you all progressing? Are you all growing? Are you all supporting each other to progress? Then you want to keep that connection on. If the answer is yes, are you draining each other? Are you building each other? Are you lifting each other up? Because great, meaningful relationships, right, don't maintain themselves. People who matter must feel that they matter, and you must make them feel like they matter because they matter. So what matters to you is that you make people feel like they matter in every relationship, and that keeps the connection going. So it's important for you to understand that relationships is hard work. Relationships is a need. No man is an island by himself. There's so many, many benefits to us building meaningful relationships. It helps us with our perspective. We're able to see our blind spots. People reveal our blind spots to us. Fortunately, we do not see our blind spots. We point fingers at other people. Relationships create protection for us. Some people pray for us. Some other people fight our battles. And you may not even know that some people are praying for you. In one of the trips the last trip to Egypt, there was a certain woman that said to me, when I got to Mount Horeb and, I literally just died, right? When I came back, one of the things she said to me is, now I know why God has been telling me to pray for you, and I've been praying for you for months. And she refused to go up with the other people. She stayed with me, right? And she kept praying. And she said to me, now I know. So protection. You need people, you need angels as human beings. Honestly, and six other people stayed with me that Mount Horeb. And they stood with me and handheld me and prayed. Man, there's absolutely no way that you can survive in this world without the protection of the angels that God has sent to you. Do you need promotion in your life? It can be one relationship that will open up the door that your CV can never open you up to. Yeah, promotion or yeah, progress, provision. Sometimes God sends you people, not money. People. Do you know that you need people more than you need money? Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. A lot of people just place monetary value on everything. People and relationships are the most valuable assets. Yes, your network determines your net worth. And peace. The value of relationships is peace. Yeah, just having the right people around you, the right people in your corner. They bring psychological and emotional safety to you. No one climbs to the top alone. The higher you go, the more strategic your relationships must be. It is very, very important for you to build the right relationships, and relationships, they help hold you accountable. They keep you grounded. They bring collaboration that unlocks your exponential potential. right? They give you companionship that sustains your emotional well-being. They expose you to different things. They expose you to different things. Meanwhile, if you're in relationships, they can distract you. Yes, they can cause you harm. They can cause you trauma. Yeah. So yes, they can be toxic and they can dishonor you. So you better be careful what kind of relationships you get into. Well, what must we do internally? What must we do externally? Honestly, you must be very, very intentional about what you're doing. Intentional in the sense that you really have to ask yourself, what is the purpose of this person in my life? Honestly, you really need to do that audit. On a yearly basis, you sit down, do that audit. List everybody in your life, all the communities you belong to, and the value they add to your life. That's the value they add to your life. Then ask yourself, what value I if you now find, right, that people are in your life that don't add any value, and there are people in your life that you don't add any value to your life, you shelve them. Well, there are certain things you don't use, but you know that they'll be useful tomorrow. You don't dump them. You put them away. You keep them. You hide them somewhere. Or rather, you contain them somewhere, right? When you have no value and they have no value, shelve them for now. And then continue to ask yourself, is there any value that I possibly can add to them? Is there any value that they can possibly add to me? If there's none, still shelve them. And then the ones that if you've worked on those ones, then ask yourself, right? The ones that add value to you. The values that I recognize that they're adding to me, have those added values expired? Are they still required and needed in my life? With where I'm going, with where I am? Be truthful to yourself. If they are not adding any more value to your life and you realize that you still add value to their lives, right? Then you keep them, but you don't spend as much time with them. But you keep adding value, but they are not adding value. You keep showing up, right? To add the value that you believe they are supposed to be adding to their lives. Very, very important. If you realize that you are not adding value to their life, they are adding value to your life. You keep them and then you keep asking them and you keep asking yourself, how can I be of value to them? Because honestly, you are more blessed with continuing to add value to people. So perhaps you used to add value, and if value is no longer required, then ask yourself, which B and C value can I begin to add? Especially when you know that the value that they add to your life is still very key and still very, very important. Please, I beg you, don't be a parasite that keeps taking. There must be certain things in these people's lives that you can be of value for. Continue to add value. And so it's important for us to do that audit. And the ones that don't add any value will never add any value again. The ones that you don't add any value to, you will never add any value to them. Then, you move on. Perhaps sometime in the future, your paths may reconnect. Then you can build those relationships. Now, also do an audit. These ones are despising you. These ones are dishonoring you for no purpose whatsoever. We're not talking about Joseph's brothers here. We're not talking about, Judas here. We're not talking about Potiphar's wife here. We're talking about toxic. We're talking about destruction. We're talking about trauma. We're talking about these ones that do not have any value in your life or add any value, and you have no value to add. That is, run as far as you can. You know with certainty that, man, these ones Almost no value again. I move. However, there may be the Judases. Yes. There may be the Joseph's brothers. There may be the Potiphar's wife. Ask God for wisdom and patience and maturity to weather the storm. Because value is not just about things that are positive that we see. Yes, there may be hidden, gems. Yes, there may be hidden gems that you may never see. Oh, yes, you may never see them until after those gems have been mined and revealed. Nobody sees diamonds from the top of the mountain. You have to mine and dig. Nobody sees crude oil from the top of the mountain. You have to dig far. Real value sometimes are hidden. Oh, yes. Yes, and have to be mined. And you need wisdom. You need patience. Oh, you need character. You need maturity for you to weather the storm. It's really, really important for us to have this conversation. It's important for us to also realize that we must stop isolating ourselves. We must stop assuming that people would always be there for us. We have to go out of our comfort zones to reach out to people. When we offend people, we apologize to people. When there's a disconnect, we reconnect with people, and we keep investing, and adding value to people. We keep encouraging each other, and we keep forgiving people, because God uses people to bless people. Your next level might be tied to the voice of a mentor, maybe tied to the voice of a colleague, maybe tied to the voice of a friend, or the faith of a friend, maybe what you need in your moments of weakness, or the partnership of a stranger, maybe what you need to take you to the next level. And so it's important for you to get rid of pride, to get rid of ego, and don't miss divine connections and divine relationships because you're too busy, you're too proud, you're too distracted. May the Lord continually, set you up, and may you continually heed to God's setup. May God send you helpers. May He bring you into circles that elevate your thinking and into communities that challenge you to be the best version of yourself. May your discernment sharpen. May your heart be healed from past relationship traumas and wounds that stop you from trusting people. May you have the wisdom to walk away when it is necessary, and the humility to honor relationships that carry you to your destiny. Remember that your network determines your net worth, whether it's spiritually, whether it's emotionally, whether it's mentally, whether it's financially. And it's important that you surround yourself with those who feed your faith, who challenge your comfort, and build your future. You are only one relationship away from your destiny. Build wisely, love deeply, and live intentionally. And this is a wake up for you because your destiny is relational. Choose who you do life with and choose on purpose. Make sure that you're fully present and you pursue those meaningful relationships with a lot of maturity.
I am successful. I look for and find opportunities where others see nothing. I am a lifetime learner. I am solution focused. I see only solutions. I am a solution.